Now, your sphere of influence, because retaining a current client is more important than generating a new one. If you abandon your clients, your competitors are waiting to orphan them. So what is the best script right now in today's market to call your sphere of influence? By the way, every one of you has a sphere of influence. What is the best script to use when you call them? Let's say you're going to pick up the phone right now. What's the best script? How's it going? I love it. So my script is, I think, a little better than that, and I'll share it. It's like, hello, ... How's it going? How are you? Just have a conversation with them. Now, this is easy to teach for me, but it is also difficult for me to do, because whenever I make a call, I have an agenda. I have an outcome projected for that transaction or that conversation. That makes sense? So I'm already planted in my head, but what if we just let God take control and say, hey, I'm just going to call them, see how they're doing, and just wherever it leads, okay? We have to be in touch with our people. There are a lot of people in your sphere of influence that have been thinking about selling their home. They won't talk to anybody about it because they're just thinking about it. Did you know that when a seller is thinking about selling their home, the last thing they want to do is call you? Just the last thing they want to do, because nobody wants to sit down with a salesman. Like when my buddy called me to list his house, I went over as not his friend, I went over as a salesperson, right? We were talking business. The happy hour comes after, you know what I'm saying? We signed the paperwork, we do happy hour. But it was business. And most people, just like when you go buy a car, people don't like to deal with, they don't like to deal with decisions, okay? They don't like to make decisions or change. So when you actually get a call from somebody that's talking about selling their house, they've already been thinking about it for months. Calling you is the last straw. Now, buyers are different. Buyers will call you when they're just kicking it around. Well, I'm kind of thinking about maybe in a year we might buy. Sellers are not that way. When you get a call from a seller, they're ready to do it, right? More or less, usually. Now, your sphere of influence. Past clients, people you know, people that you've met. That's who your SOI is. 7 out of 10 sellers say, according to NAR, that they would do business with a friend, neighbor, somebody that they know, somebody that they trust, okay? And here's the thing that you got to understand. If you're out of sight, you're out of mind. So you got to keep yourself in their sights, all right? So that means 70% of your business will originate from someone in your database. Now, I'm not against you guys creating and building your database, okay? But the idea that most of your business will come from strangers is not holding up true to what NAR statistics say, okay? By the way, did you know that 70 to 80% of sellers list with the first agent they meet with? Most of them meet with just one agent, okay? So this whole thing about competition is not true. I've been out there long enough to know that now I would position myself as competition for people, right? That's positioning, okay? So the reason we do that is because it's fun. It's a game. I would talk to sellers and they say, hey, I'm interviewing 2 or 3 agents. I say, great. Why don't you just have us all there at the same time? Like the dating game. You remember that game? The dating game? Say, hey, just have all 3 of us. Well, what do you mean? I said, well, wouldn't it save you time just to have all 3 of us sitting there like on the couch and you just ask us all the same question? Then you got a 1-hour appointment instead of 3 1-hour appointments. Wouldn't that make more sense? Yeah, I think I like that idea. Well, I tell you what, call the other agents, tell them Knolly Williams is going to be there and invite them along. Most of them would cancel, okay? Because it's the way I play the game. It's Knolly, you going up against Knolly Williams? Nah. I'm out. I'm folding my hand. That was a game. It was just a game. It was fun. I had when I was at Remax, I had a van. It was wrapped, had my picture all over it, you know, top realtor in the world, all this kind of stuff that we do. And what I would do is I knew that they had another appointment, you know, with another agent right after mine. So I would purposely stay 5 or 10 minutes late because it would intimidate them. They get there, they see that, oh man, that's Knolly Williams. Then they come in, they're stuttering, they're stammering. They're like, well, the other guy said, you know, it's just fun. You know, a lot of you guys take it too serious. Oh, I got to get that listing. When you're in Feast or Famine, you play it that way. But when you got 6 to 10 listings rolling in, you're like, hey, Archer, 1 or 2 things is going to happen today. Either you're going to, well, 1 or 3 things really. Either you're not going to list your house at all, or you're going to list with me, or you're not going to like me and not list. Either one is fine. I'm okay with either way. You know, and they knew that. It wasn't just me saying it. I oozed confidence. And see, here's the thing. in this thing called energy, okay, you can't kid the kidder. You can BS a lot of people, but truthfully, and kids are good with this. That's the reason I think a lot of kids like me. You know, when I go to Artemis's house, the first thing I'm doing is the kids are all on me, right? The kids love me because they know that I'm pure at heart. I got a pure heart, the heart of the. And I'm not saying this just to sell you guys on it. It's just who I am. People know. After a while, they know, man, this dude is full of it, or he's not. Okay, so you can show up a certain way with confidence and not still be stuck on yourself that way. Does that make sense? Now, 86% of your past clients said that they would refer you. Okay, 86%, but are they referring you? Now, why aren't you staying in touch with your SOI? I already know the answer. It's because you really lack an easy to implement plan. So once again, Uncle Knolly is going to give you that easy to implement plan that I want you to start implementing today, okay, to get you that one deal a month, no questions asked, all right? I call it the KISS method, a monthly e-newsletter, a quarterly mailing, postcard, and a semi-annual call. That's 18 touches a year. That's about every 3 weeks you're touching. Are they going to forget who you are? You touch them every. Now you can modify this a little bit if you want to do some of this through social media or whatever. But the reason I wrote this book to be evergreen, so I don't have to read. One is because I don't like editing and come up with new versions every year, right? So I don't have a lot of the social media and all the new strategies that come out every year. Those we can figure out on our own. Okay, those are what we call superfluous strategies. These are evergreen strategies that you'll be able to use for the next 10, 15 years. Okay. Now, monthly e-newsletter, I use more souls. If you're in Mentorship Master, you get it for free, okay? But I really don't care what you use. But it's got to be set it and forget it, okay? They have to hear from you every single month electronically, okay? If you don't like this one, get something you like, but don't go in there saying, hey, I had an agent just a couple weeks ago. They said, I'm going to write a new newsletter every single week, okay? And what happens? That agent goes on vacation. It doesn't get done. And then what happens when they get back? They're stacked up, doesn't get done. And eventually the not getting done turns into never doing it again. Does that make sense? That's why for us as agents in this room, being honest with you guys, it's got to be set it and forget it. A quarterly postcard mailing. Make that postcard at the beginning of the year. Focus it on selling. Focus it on sellers. This has always been my postcard, always been my message. I don't care if you guys rip it off because I'm out of the game. Even if I was in the game, I used to, people would tell me all the time, well, I don't want anybody stealing my clients. I'm like, how can somebody steal your client? Like, here's my database. Call these people. See what? I'm gonna call Knolly. I'm gonna tell on you. You're calling me. My realtor's Knolly Williams, fool. Boom. Right? Because I taught him well. You can't. So here's the thing, thinking about selling your home, list with Knolly. Get more money, sell in less time, free consultation. Joseph will tell you this is the same thing because it's a reticular activator. That's what I'm working on, the reticular activator. So it's like, if you're thinking about selling, then this is a command, okay? This is a question, this is an embedded command. List with Artemis, list with Charles, right? It's a command. And why would you do that? Well, you get more money, yeah, I want more money. These are the things that sellers care about, is they want more money and they want to save time in the process. They want it to be hassle-free, right? And we offer a free consultation. How many of you guys have a free consultation? How many of you guys charge for your consultation with a seller, with your listing appointment? How many of you charge for it? How many of y'all just don't do either one? Right? So here's the thing. You already have a free consultation, right? I learned that from a bankruptcy attorney that I worked for. My annual call, what does that mean? Twice a year? Smile and dial. I like that right there, boy. Smile and dial. Write that down. Write that down. I've never made a cold call. These are not cold calls. These are people that know, like, and trust you. Your top 200, your A+ list, or your A list. Your top 200 people should be hearing from you, and it's just that simple. How's it going? It's always going to come back, what's going on with you? How are you doing? Oh, I'm doing great. I'm doing really good, but I got a big problem right now. Oh, you do? Oh, you know what? Now that we're talking about it, maybe you could help me with this problem. Well, what's your problem? See if I can help. Well, my big problem right now is I don't have any inventory. I can't keep them in stock. Every time I list one, it sells. And it sells for 100,000 over in some cases, right? Shanlin just got one for 100,000. You're a buyer? Yeah, you're working the buyer? Yeah, 100,000 over to get the deal, Okay, crazy. And so you start talking to that, what, 100,000 over? By the way, maybe I should look at what your home is worth. Have y'all thought about selling? Well, we haven't really been thinking about selling, but I tell you what. So in other words, you get that conversation going. You know, I've got a big problem. Maybe you can help me with it. I need more inventory. Who do you know that's looking to sell right now? Well, I can't think of any. I tell you what, but when you think about somebody, you'll call me, won't you? Yeah, I'll call you, right? And you have them give you their information, their friend's information, not that they'll give their information to the friend. Does that make sense? Does that make sense with you guys? There's a big difference, guys. Oh, well, have your friend call me. Doesn't work. They're never going to call you. Okay? It's easier to say, hey, Pamela asked me to just give you a call and just chat with you. I'm Pamela's realtor. And just wanted to, ask and just open it up that way. You got a question? Oh, you heard it before. Okay, good. How many of us have heard this stuff before? There was a guy, he said, I'm not going to church anymore. Pastor said, well, how come you're not going to church? He said, man, every time I come to church, I hear the same thing, message. I done heard this stuff so many times, I'm done, I'm not coming back. He said, well, let me ask you a question. That's okay if you don't come back, I'm good with that. What did your wife fix you for dinner last, say, Friday evening? He probably said, I don't know. He said, well, how about the last Wednesday? I don't remember. What'd you have for? Well, you may not remember what you had, but it nourished you at the time, didn't it? Yeah, sure did, right? So you're not going to skip eating every day just because you've had that meal before. You see what I'm saying? It's to say, a lot of people want the new, but it's the old that works, okay? And here's what you got to do. Take the old and mix in a little bit of new with it. Does that make sense? Tweak it to you.